very important that NPOs are operationally efficient in the use of their resources. By incorporating GIS into their activities, NPOs are able to gain insights about stakeholders and beneficiaries, which subsequently helps in the effective and equitable allocation of resources. Monitoring and evaluation, that is through project measurement and impact, using GIS and location intelligence, helps NPOs in effectively tracking the impacts of their activities at different locations. This provides an opportunity to identify areas where there is a need for improvement. Through advocacy and stakeholder engagement, NPOs are able to reach out to communities, donors, and other stakeholders on the positive impacts of their intervention and why there's a need for their voices to be heard. Storytelling tools and community collaboration hubs is how GIS helps to achieve this. In order to help and contribute to the good works NPOs are doing, ESRI has a program for NPOs where they are given access to software products and services at discounted prices. These include ArcGIS Pro, which is to replace ArcGIS Desktop in some years to come, ArcGIS Online, and ArcGIS Enterprise. ArcGIS Pro, which is undoubtedly the world's most advanced spatial analysis and mapping software, is very useful in the advanced analysis of geospatial data, as well as cartography, which can basically be described as the process of making maps. NPOs are also given access to several extensions under this package. For instance, the 3D Analyst and Spatial Analyst extension. ArcGIS Online, which is also a cloud-based software, is mainly for the creation and sharing of maps within an organization, among stakeholders and the general public, based on the preference of the NPO and who they wish to view this information. This software, as stated earlier, is mainly to bolster collaboration. NPOs also gain access to a wide range of web and mobile applications, such as dashboards, Survey 123, and Collector, among many others. Finally, ArcGIS Enterprise, which is similar to ArcGIS Online, but in this case, the software sits on the local server of the organization. This is usually for NPOs that have policies that restrict them from having their data on the cloud database. Over the years, Sambus Geospatial Limited has worked with several NPOs in Ghana and across the sub-region to help incorporate location intelligence in their operations through the ESRI NPO package. These include World Vision International, WAPCAS, that's the West Africa Program to combat AIDS and STIs, Hair Mpoano, Tropenbos International, and Clinton Health Access Initiative, just to mention a few. Currently, WAPCAS has developed a dashboard for monitoring its performance reach across regions using the ArcGIS Online NPO package. Tropenbos International is also utilizing the ArcGIS Pro NPO package to map out and create a database of smallholder farmers they support across the country. In the next slide, we'll be watching a demo of how the ArcGIS Online package is used to monitor natural disasters across Ghana using dummy data. Please note that this in no way represents actual work being undertaken by World Vision International.
Hi, my name is George Oduro and I'm with the Sambus Tech team. In this video, we are going to demonstrate how NGOs can monitor natural disasters using the ArcGIS Online platform, using applications such as the Operations Dashboard and Survey 123. Now, Operations Dashboard, or the dashboard, is going to be used to monitor the data and then see where the various disasters have happened, and then you can view the data that has been collected using the Survey 123. With that, Survey 123 is a data collection application that allows you to capture data based on your location in points, lines, and polygons. With that, let us go straight into the video, and then we'll be starting with the Survey 123 application. Over here on the screen now, we have the Survey 123 application, and we have the overview. So this is where you can manage, or Survey 123 has a website where you can manage your data that has been collected. And then anytime you open up that survey you've created, you're going to see the records and then the number of people who have participated, and then the days the data has been submitted on. In here, you can also design your survey, or you can see what or how your survey is going to look before you publish for data collection. So this right here is how our data looks when we're designing, and then I'm going to switch to a tab that actually shows a preview of our survey, right? So on PC, this is how the survey looks. And then we can also capture our data here using this survey right here. So data collection can be done on your PC and on any mobile smart device, right? So both Android and iOS. So on PC, it's a simple data collection as I will demonstrate here, and then submit. So over here in the location of the disaster, this is where you set the pin, right? So this is where you set the location of the disaster. So as you can see, this blue pin has appeared. I can also fetch my or find my location. So once I tap on this, it is going to activate my location and then zoom into where I am currently located. Okay, so once we have that, I can simply click on submit, and then as simple as that, my data has been submitted. With that, data then comes into what we call a web map. With a web map, the web map is an online platform that allows you to visualize your data, right? So you can configure everything you need in here in your web map, and then perform all kinds of symbology as well with your data. So as you can see in the web map here, what we are looking at currently using our legend, we have the type of disaster. So any icon that we see with this is a landslide, any like with this is an earthquake, we have the fire outbreak, and then we have the flood, right? So this is what these icons mean on our web map right here. So in Tamale, we have one fire outbreak here. And then once we zoom out and we come here, we can see that the Ashanti region has quite a number of natural disasters occurring. So we have an earthquake here, we have flooding here, and then we have a landslide happening in the northern part of the Ashanti region right here. So for every dashboard, what you're going to need is a web map, and this web map is what is going to source that data to your dashboard, right? So anything or any change that happens within our web map right here, we're going to see the changes in our dashboard. So anytime there's data collected or there's data submitted from survey 123, it comes into the web map automatically, and then it is symbolized, right? So whatever we chose right here in the aftermath questionnaire, whether it was a landslide, an earthquake, fire outbreak, or a flood, automatically it's going to be symbolized and then added to the web map. Then we have the dashboard right here, which is also going to update itself. So once it is updated, you are going to see an updated number on your dashboard right here. Okay, so that's what we have with the dashboard. So in here we have the dashboard, and then we have the intensity of the disaster, and then we have a few other elements displaying our attribute data. So this is a combination of everything we have collected. So we have the total number of floods across the country, total number of earthquakes, total number of fire outbreaks, and then total number of landslides. And then we have a total number of displaced people to the top right here. This is an indicator element. And then we have the total number of casualties, that is right at the bottom here. Also, we have the serial chart, and then we have the severity or the intensity of the disaster. So once everything is set, you are going to have a dashboard that looks like this, and then we have the filter options for the dashboard. So this sort of provides a connection between all elements, such that once I click on this segment right here, earthquake, everything is going to filter out, showing just the earthquake numbers. So as you can see, once I click on it, the displaced people and then the casualties filter out to only those who have been affected by the earthquakes, as well as my map here, such that you only see the points of the earthquakes, and then I also see the severity of said earthquakes. I can change that to the landslide, and then it's going to either add up, and I can click this and I can view only the landslide, or I can view both landslide and earthquake. I can add up with the flood, or then I can finally make everything as it was once again. So this again, this brings the connection or all the connections between our elements, and then we can view our data. So depending on what the NGOs want to display to the audience or their target audience, they can make the data available. The dashboards are very flexible and can always be changed up on how or what you want to be shown to your target audience. So this is how NGOs can make use of the ArcGIS online applications, operations dashboard, and Survey 123 to monitor natural disasters. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your attention. I will now hand over to Nicholas to take us through the question and answer session. I would also drop my email within the chat in case you have any questions or clarifications you might need addressed after the webinar. Over to you, Nicholas.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf Abdullahi, for such an insightful presentation. Please, if you have any question, please drop them in the chat box. But for now, you can raise up your hands and we'll give you the platform for you to ask your question. Please, do you have any question? Please, did we all understand the presentation and the demo that was presented to us? If you have any challenge, you can please drop them in the chat box and the resource person will answer them. The resource person has dropped this email in the chat box. So you can hit him up right after the presentation if you need clarification.
Hello,
Since we don't, please, is anyone speaking?
yeah, sorry, I just have one question. If I'm an NGO and I want to get access to this package, what would be the process?
Mr. Yusuf Abdullah, can you please assist us with that?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So what we usually do is when an NGO is interested in this package, we actually request for certain documentation to actually prove they're actually registered to be NGOs or NPOs in Ghana. Then from there, we move on to share a quotation. First, we try to understand their needs first, then we share a quotation with them. Then they sign a master license agreement, after which the software is delivered. So I think the main thing is just to prove that you are an NGO or you are registered as an NGO before you can actually get onto this package. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, please, it does. Yes.
Thank
Just
you.
a follow-up. How much does it cost?
So I've dropped my email. It doesn't come as a high cost as compared to the commercial package since it's an NGO package. And as I already stated, SB is doing this because of the fact that they know NGOs actually rely on donor supports and all of that. So as compared to the commercial, it's a very low amount. And in case you are interested, I've dropped my email, so you can directly contact me and I'll handle everything from there. Is that fine with you?
Yes, please. That would be wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Please, do you have any more questions?
Sorry. Just one more before I go off again. I wanted to find out the interventions. Is it just specific to the natural disasters, or whatever your intervention, if you want to monitor, it can be customized to that?
Yeah, so it covers most, as I already stated in the slides. I think for my third slide, we actually identified there are some focus areas that we know are very important to these NGOs, monitoring and evaluation and all of that. So it's not only limited to just natural disasters and all of that. As was already mentioned in the demo, the Survey 123 data collection form, it's a form you create on your own. You have your own questions you want to ask and all of that. So based on your preference, you ask all those questions, you pick all that data, and it's tied onto that particular location where all that information was taken. Then you can use that to do the other processes and analysis you want to run. So it's not actually just limited to just disasters as you saw in the demo. This was just to show you the possibility of what the platform can do. Yeah.
Please, we have a question from Aishat. Please, Aishat, you can have the floor now.
Okay. Good afternoon. I
Good
wanted to
afternoon.
ask, the NGO package, does it come with other benefits, or is just the software, you just hand it over to the client, or does it come with maintenance, or do you have a tech team that comes on board to install, or do you do training for NGOs and stuff like that?
Thank you very much for your question, Aisha. So yes, you signing on to this package actually comes with a lot. We have after sales service. We don't just give you the software and it sits down and you're not using it. For most organizations we've actually dealt with, they had up to very little knowledge about how to use the softwares. So we took them through trainings or based on what they want to use it for. If it's just a basic training, if it's an intermediate training, or maybe a specialized training they want, we take them through all of that. And after this training, they are also entitled to after sales support. That is when you start using this software for your work and all of that. Maybe you come up with difficulties or you just need assistance with some processes you want to now start using and all. We have a tech team on standby who are always ready to assist. So yes, we don't just give you the software and it just sits on your machine or in your office. we actually go on and give you after sales support and all of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Mr. Asif Abdullahi. Please, do you have any more questions? Since we don't have any question at all,
I think Luis has a question. Luis says, I didn't really understand the benefits of the MPO package. Okay, so I think maybe let me take you back to my third slide, I think. Maybe that didn't really go down well. So yes, so these are the focus areas we actually identified for NGOs. As I already mentioned, NGOs actually, most of their work is actually based on donor support. They don't, as their name already suggests, they are not for profit. So for them to be operational, they have to be operationally efficient in whatever they do in order to utilize their resources very well and get the best results out of it. So location intelligence comes in to play this role. It helps in being efficient. So for instance, an intervention has been applied in several districts in Ghana. And in order to have justification that whatever intervention that are being meted out in this district are actually giving the results that we need, location intelligence comes in and tries to map out these interventions across maybe these regions you are working in. So you are able to know, okay, these are the results that are coming from maybe District A. These are the results coming from District B and District C. So now we tend to understand, okay, maybe District A might need more focus or District C might need more focus as compared to District B. So it doesn't let you just met out resources. You actually met out resources based on the fact that these places need more resources as compared to other places. And location intelligence actually plays a lot of role through these three focus areas we identified in order to help you achieve all of that. So yes, that's how important this would be to NGOs. I hope that answers your question, Louise.
thank you, Mr. Abdullahi. Please, any more question?
Yes, I do have another question.
Okay, Aisha, please, you have the floor.
So I wanted to know the NGO package. You said as compared to the commercial package is the price is quite low, right?
Yes, please.
So if that's the case, what's the difference? Like, if I say let's say I buy the commercial package, what's the difference between the NGO package and then the commercial package? Since one is lesser than the other, definitely the commercial package will have more, how do you call it, features than the NGO package. So if you can kindly explain.
So okay, I get where this is coming from, but ironically, you even get more on the NPO package as compared to the commercial package. So for instance, with the desktop, as I already said, the GIS Pro, as I already said in my previous slides, you get it with some extensions. Usually for the commercial package, you have to buy the base software and you buy extensions you require and add up to it. But for the NGO package, you are given extensions in addition to buying the desktop. So it's not like you are going to get less value because you are paying less. In my opinion, you are even getting more than what maybe the commercial, and this is mainly because of these reasons I stated, that NGOs actually, they don't make profit, and most of their work is just to help maybe less endowed people or rural communities across the country and all of that. So this is something as we brought on board to help them and help in their work. not to just sell to them, but to help in their operations and all of that, to help them achieve their goals at the end of the day. Because one way or the other, this affects all of us in our daily lives. So you buying the NGO package doesn't mean you are getting lesser than the commercial. No, you're actually getting more. That's in my opinion. I hope that answers your question, Aisha.
Yes, that answers my question. I have another question.
Sure.
The license, you offer license that's attached to the software, right?
Yes, please.
So with the license, how many user can I bring on board for my NGO package?
Okay, so for the NGO package, let's say the desktop is a term license, which has to be renewed every year. So for that one user per license, it's single use. So one user per license. It's not something that maybe multiple users can use. So it's simply one user per license.
What if I want multiple users?
So you buy multiple licenses in case you want multiple users.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullahi. So we have a question in the chat box, and Mr. Luis wants to know whether they will have access to the demo that was presented. This session is being recorded and will be later circulated or shared with our participants. So they'll have access to the demo and watch it again and be able to understand the processes that was used in presenting the dashboard or the processes involved in using Sabi 123. So you have access to the demo in the recorded version. Thank you. Please, any more question? So thank you, Mr. Abdullahi, for answering our questions and giving us such a wonderful presentation. Before we conclude this webinar, let's take note of a few announcements. We are currently calling for GIS project submission for Young Scholar Awards. This is an opportunity for recent graduates and postgraduates to be acknowledged for their special achievement within the GIS space. A link of where you can submit this project is in the chat box. Also, let's take a moment to access and complete the webinar feedback form provided. We really appreciate your input. Finally, this is the launch of the Sambu's Geospatial GIS Industry Application Solution webinar series. This series will continue, so kindly watch our socials so as to join in the next series. Thank you all for attending our webinar. We hope you learned and enjoyed this presentation. As I indicated earlier, this video will be circulated for you to go through the session again. Thank you all and do enjoy the rest of your day.